Lovely to see you all.
Welcome, everybody.
I think you've got you have an idea.
Do I look like I have an idea? So
we have just talked about this already, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
But she always talks more than I do, so I'm gonna let her start.
As I say, it's getting me to stop that's the problem. So I won't say much at this point, but we've been looking at the progress of the next pair of beautiful names. We've been working with these 99 names of the beloved, and the next pair talks. On Tuesday we worked with Karbid and Basit, which is about contraction and expansion. So that's sort of, in a sense, on the horizontal plane. And the next two come Kafid and Rafi. This talks about the vertical plane. And it just brought me into considering this interaction of the horizontal and the vertical, which is represented by the cross. This sense of spirit coming into form, and how our essential eternal nature interacts with our physical here and now being. So that's kind of the sort of theme today. Spirit coming into form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Grace. So, shall we begin by invoking, using the invocation of Hazrat Inayat Khan, joining our virtual hands together across the miles, across thousands of miles, which in Zoom really don't exist.
And what we can do is use these little pictures, these little windows on Zoom, and reach out to the edges of those pictures. If we all do that, we're actually almost touching hands. Robert, yours is just off the screen there, but if you bring it in, you can take Anna's hand. Look.
Oh, yes, there we go.
Like this. So we can really send this sense of connection through the palms of our hands with real awareness of the other people in the circle. So if you're familiar with the Sufi invocation, join with us. If not, just breathe with it. And I'd like to use the expanded version, which invokes the Master, the message, and the mystery. Towards the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the message, the mystery, the spirit of guidance. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
So let's begin with a really simple mantra. That's what I felt inspired to share. Om Hum So Hum.
Om Hum So Hum.
Om Hum So Hum.
Om Hum So Hum.
So this has, like so much Sanskrit, multiple meanings and many layers. And but to me it speaks of breathing in, breathing out, the balance of light and dark, masculine, feminine, seen and unseen, manifest and unmanifest, above and below, our shadow selves, our selves that are in our awareness. So this is about coming into the present moment, bringing our awareness into the present to as much of ourselves as we are able to right now. And this opens us to the possibility of bringing our awareness of the infinite into manifestation in our earthly being. That will do. Okay. Om hum so hum.
Om hum so hum.
Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so hum. Sing with me. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so hum. One more time. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so So those of you who'd like to move, you can do this sitting or standing because it's very simple. We're just starting with our hands on our hearts, and we're opening and closing, if you like, breathing out, breathing in, or breathing in and breathing out. But we're just doing this movement. We're bowing, opening, and then straightening up again and closing, bringing our hands back to our hearts. And then the last movement, we just raise our hands up, opening to the infinite, and hands back down to the heart. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum. And then upwards. So hum. Om hum. So we're emptying as well as opening. Emptying, opening, closing, filling, emptying, breathing in, breathing out. Let's do it again. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum so hum. Om hum. Om hum so hum. Om I'm noticing is that normally this dance is done walking to the right, and I'm missing that movement of my whole body. You know, I'm not. So let's try moving our whole body, but maybe we could just step on the spot like this, and then we're moving our whole being. It's quite nice to do that, and we get a bit of a sway going on as well. Om Hum, Om Hum So Hum, Om Hum So Hum. That's right, just keep going. Om Hum, Om Hum So Hum, Om Hum So Hum, Om Hum, Om Hum So Hum. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Just being here with ourselves, with each other, as we are right now, in this moment. This is how it is. This is how we are. Soha,
Soha.
Soha.
Can I do a bit of this now?
Yeah.
So I'd like to just read a little bit about this next pair of these beautiful names. And if you're not familiar with these beautiful names of the beloved, each one is a description of a quality, qualities that we possess, although we may be more or less aware of those qualities. Qualities that it's often easier to call upon from outside. This is part of human nature, that we recognize more easily certain things in another or in the beloved, and we can call upon those qualities, and at the same time we're awakening them within ourselves. So I mentioned that we last week began with Kabid and Basit. I think it's worth saying again that in many circles there's somehow more weight and value given to certain qualities than to others. And again, this is a really precious gift of these particular names and other similar names. We're sort of led to believe that expansion is better than contraction, that the light is better than the dark, that you can fill in the gaps, but there are many of those kind of unequal qualities. And what these names tell us, Ya Kabid, this is the only source of contraction, is the divine, the Holy One. How can there be any other source of contraction? And if the divine is contracting, how can there be a problem with that? Who says it's any better to expand than to contract? And again, I've said it before, but it's really worth saying, in our current climate, current world, so much emphasis has been placed on expansion and on growth, growth without a sense that the nature of things is to expand and then to contract, and these cycles of opening and closing. And we see this in economics and in the climate situation, that so it really behooves us to make friends with this contraction as well as expansion, and to recognize also the times when we need to come in and contract and come in close and stay in our innermost being, and to honor that, as there's a time and a place for that, just as there's a time and a place to be going out and meeting people and being radiant and shiny. So again, no preference one or the other, just what is in the moment. And so the subsequent pair, Ya Kafid and Ya Rafi. So Ya Kafid is the only one who brings us down. Again, we might feel like that. Why would we want to be brought down? How can that be a good thing? Well, sometimes, I can go off on one, and I'm really grateful for some help in coming down. Sometimes I can be, overexcited or getting above myself, and actually it's quite a relief just to feel that sense of it's okay to be at, wherever I am right now. I don't need to always be looking to be higher or better or greater or going somewhere else. just to be brought back down into the moment is really a great healing blessing. And then Ya Rafi, the one that brings us up. So when we might be feeling really low and at the bottom, knowing that there is this one who brings us up. And that flow again, the up and down, the in and out. It's like Rumi says, we quoted this, Katie posted the poem for us last week, the hand that we open and close our fist naturally, but if it couldn't open and close, it would be paralyzed. The bird opens and closes her wings. That's the natural order of things. So I'll just read a little tiny bit about this pair, Ya Khafid. Ya Khafid is the only one who lowers beings down through the spiritual stations. It facilitates real descent. So the movement described by Ya Khafid and Ya Rafi is vertical. These two names of God relate to the maqam. This is our spiritual station. This is where we come back to when all of the hal and the excitement has passed. Where do we land? That's our maqam. So Al-Khafid's lowering of your spiritual station is out of loving, protective concern for the soul of the wayfarer. It is a kind of constriction, but the job of the heart is to make the infinite finite. With the realization of Al-Khafid, there is a grasping of the secret deep within the contraction of the heart. One meaning of the root is to lower the wing like a mother chicken lowers her wing over her chicks to protect them. When you understand that God alone is the facilitator of your grade of realization, your maqam, you become content with the raising or lowering of the spirit as God wills. So the combination of Ya Khafid and Ya Rafi repeated together can help to protect us from our own spiritual greed or desire, to protect us from going too high too fast when you're not prepared. And it can be an antidote for spiritual burnout, especially when someone feels that spiritual practices are not working to change our condition. So Ya Khafid, the only one who brings us down, who lowers our spiritual station. Ya Rafi, the only one who raises our spiritual station, by which we draw near to Allah. It is the only cause of such exaltation. Rafi is the exalter. It facilitates movement to higher planes. It allows you to transcend lower states, opinions, prejudices, and even to overcome obsession. Through its activity, a traveller on the spiritual path goes through every single healing process until they are truly free. So that's, I'm reading from this book, The Physicians of the Heart, which some of you know. But if you like, we can write that in the chat so that you can find it. You can find it on Amazon or other bookshops. So, I think maybe just do. Can you write it?
I could type it in.
Where's everybody gone? There we are. Tangled up in my hair here. So let's do some practice. I think I'd like to start with Khabid and Basit, although we did them before. No harm in repeating these things at all. So we'll do some repetition of Ya Khabid, the only source of contraction, Ya Basit, the only source of expansion, and feel free to move your body with these words. That the sound has healing power. They are healing mantric syllables. So the very power of the sounds has an effect, and we can amplify that effect by really embodying it. So in a way that works for you. Some people feel more benefit from more movement, other people from less or very subtle movement. So feel free to do what works for you.
And it
So-
might change over time.
It might change even during the practice or from one day to another. That's true. Yeah. So Kabid, Basit, and then when we come on to Khafid, sorry, did that the wrong way around. Khafid, bringing us down, and Rafi, bringing us up. So feel free to make those movements with your body in whatever way seems good to you. So we'll begin. You model those movements while I'm counting on my. Thank you.
I'll try and get them the right way around.
So beginning with Ya Kabid, Ya Basit. 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 And for a moment just breathing with this source of all contraction, breathing out, and Basit, the source of all expansion. Just experiencing that natural flow with the expansion and contraction of the lungs. And letting the words go and returning to a natural breath and allowing some space for this natural contraction and expansion to settle. Making friends with both those qualities. And then let's move to Ya Khafid, the only one who brings us down, and Ya Rafi, the only one who raises us up. Ya Khafid, Ya Rafi, 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 Ya Khafid, Ya So continuing to breathe Kafid, bringing the only one who brings us down, and Ya Rafi, the only one who raises us up. Feeling this bringing down as like the protective wing of a mother hen coming over us, and opening to the lifting up of Ya Rafi. And if you feel to, this is an opportunity to place your head lower than your heart. Sufis are encouraged to do this at least once a day, reminding ourselves that the head, the mind, is beneath the heart. The heart is what guides. Ameen.
Ameen.
Ameen. Would you like to lead your next dance?
So let's make space for inspiration. For the unmanifest to become manifest. The unmanifested life of the infinite to become manifest in us. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai.
Kudus, Kudus, Allahai.
Or Kudus, Kudus, Allahai.
Kudus, Kudus, Allahai.
And Yahai,
Yahai,
Yahak,
Yahak.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
So Kudus, making space for the infinite to come in. Allah, the one unity. Hai, the life of the infinite coming in to us, manifesting in our beings as life force. Yahai, Yahak.
Yahai, Yahak.
Where Hai is that life force, Hak is its truth as manifested in our beings, in our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual beings. Hak. And La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
illallah. Nothing exists except unity. All separation is illusion. There is no God but God. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Allahai. Sing that. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Allahai. Listen. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Allahai. Sing that. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Allahai. We'll sing that, those two again. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Allahai. Kudus, Kudus, Allahai. like we're calling in, we're opening up, we're calling in this infusion of magical, divine inspiration. And then we go, Ya Hay, Ya Hak, Ya Hay, Ya Hak, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Let's do them both together. Ya Hay, Ya Hak, La ilaha illallah. Again. Ya Hay, Ya Hak, La ilaha illallah. And back to the beginning. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. Sing that again. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. Ya Hay, Ya Hak, Ya Hay, Ya Hak, La ilaha illallah. Ya Hay, Ya Hak, La ilaha illallah. I think I might just drop it down slightly.
Yes, please.
Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. Okay, that's a bit
Is
better.
that all right with you? Yeah.
That's fine. Right, so if you want to move with this, standing or sitting, but we're going to start with this this rowing movement, I think, which some of you are familiar with, and we can do that on our own or with a partner. So we're stepping forward with the right foot, so we're moving forward, bringing our hands up as if we are pulling, and then stepping back as if we're pulling on the oars of a boat, rowing on the infinite sea of life, love and unity. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. And again. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. Calling in the spirit. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai. And then we step forward, raising our hands. Ya Hay, Ya Hak. Step back when we bring our hands down. So we're stepping forward on Ya Hay, throwing our hands into the air, connecting with infinite life, and then stepping back, bringing that life down into manifestation in our bodies, into the earth if you like as well. Ya Hay, Ya Hak. And we turn to the right. La ilaha illallah. Same again. Ya Hay, Ya Hak. Turn to the left. La ilaha illallah. Great. Let's go for it. So we're going to start a little bit slower and then just kind of build it up as we call in that energy and it begins to rise in us. Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, Alahai, Kudus, One more time. Ya ilah, ilallah. Ya hay, ya hak. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Ya hay, ya hak. Amen.
Amen.
Get that train running. Full of that high and huck. Thank you for joining in with that.
It is really wonderful dancing with you all. I really appreciate.
It's great looking at the screen and seeing you going for it.
Yeah. And I know that for me, you know, I attend quite a few of these Zooms where we don't dance, we just sit and chant and maybe move a little bit. And for me, it really helps me to get into my body and to move my feet and to feel that my footsteps drumming on the earth. So I'm really grateful for you joining with that as well.
Yeah.
You know, to the extent of your ability and need, but it's great that the possibility's there. Oh, so I just wanted to spend a little bit more time with this, with the symbol of the cross, because this really woke up a whole new understanding for me when I first started working with this, of the power of the symbolism of the cross. When we have this this vertical line, this connection with the sacred, and how that intersects with the horizontal line, which could be seen as our physical reality, our physical form, our relationships with the people that we meet and that are around us. And so that intersection is just such a precious place to explore and to spend time with. And Hazrat Inayat Khan, the Sufi master, has written a lot about the symbolism of the cross. I'm not going to read it all because I've read a lot already today, but I just thought I'd read one or two bits. I've just got to find the right bit. Why does it do that, Robert?
I don't know.
It's gone black. Let me find that bit again. Right,
there we go.
There we are. I've got it back now. I'm using my iPad, and sometimes, you know, just technology.
It's great when it works.
Yeah. So, the symbol of the cross, says Hazrat Inayat Khan, has many significations. It is said in the Bible, first was the Word, and then came light, and then the world was created. And as the light is expressed in the form of the cross, so every form shows in it the original sign. Every artist knows the value of the vertical line and the horizontal line which form the skeleton of every form. This is proved by the teaching of the Quran, where it is said that God created the world from her or his own light. The cross is the figure that fits to every form everywhere. And I'm going to jump a little bit.
I was just remembering that we first learned this when we were studying with the Celtic mystery tradition back in the early 90s.
That's right.
The symbolism of the cross for the Celtic mystics was this, rather than, or as well as, the crucifixion, as in the Roman instrument of torture.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. In fact, would you be able to get that? We've got that lovely stained glass thing up here, which will just maybe hold it up as a bit of a symbol to reflect on while I perhaps read a couple more bits. It's just blowing the dust off it. So this, this beautiful shape with the balance and the, this sense of the horizontal and the vertical, and the jewel at the middle, this jewel of the human heart, where these lines cross and meet. Hazrat Inayat Khan says, in every activity of life which may be pictured as a perpendicular line, there comes obstruction, which the horizontal line represents. And he says also, a human being who has realized the truth is subject to all pains and torture in the same way as all other persons, but is capable of bearing them better than the others. At the same time, while in the crowd everybody hits the other and also receives blows, the knower of truth has to stand alone and receive them only. This is in itself a great torture. The life in the world is difficult for every person, rich or poor, strong or weak, but for the knower of truth it is still more difficult than for others, and that in itself is a cross. Therefore, for a spiritual messenger, the cross is a natural emblem. There's so much there. So if you're familiar with Hazrat Inayat Khan's work, there's he's got whole chapters all about the symbolism of the cross. But I think it's better if we do some. I'm just going to correct myself here, because I am just going to read one tiny more bit, because the next dance that I'm going to lead is a dance using a beautiful phrase which J.S. Bach used to write at the bottom of every piece of music he wrote, and he would write S-D-G, and for a while people didn't always know what that was, what that meant, but it stands for the Latin phrase Soli Deo Gloria, to God alone the glory. So this amazing, wonderful composer, inspired composer, writing on every page he wrote, to God alone the glory. Soli Deo Gloria. And the dance leader who brought through this dance, who's a musician as well, and she said, she puts in the write-up for the dance this little quotation from Hazrat Inayat Khan. The symbol of the cross signifies the crucifixion one has to meet by possessing the truth. The crucifixion is when that thought of self, of ego, is fought with, until there comes an understanding that there is no self before the vision of God. So, so much of our suffering comes from our sense of ourself, and then when we can efface that and just become aware of, like the zikr phrase, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, no separation, no ego between the self and God, just that melting into oneness. So that's something to reflect on as we dance this dance as well. Soli Deo Gloria, to God alone the glory. Let's say that together. Soli Deo Gloria.
Soli Deo Gloria.
And then we say Adoramus Te.
Adoramus te.
We adore you. We adore thee. So, Soli Deo Gloria Adoramus te. So, it's okay, so just find my starting note. Soli Deo Gloria. Soli Deo Gloria. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Soli Deo Gloria. Soli Deo Gloria. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Soli Deo Gloria. Soli Deo Gloria. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. Lovely. So when we're saying the Adoramus te, we have a chance to demark, to embody the shape of the cross. So the hands come from the heart to the vertical on the first Adoramus te, and then from the heart to the horizontal on the second one. So it looks like this. Adoramus te. Adoramus te. So really feeling it coming back to the heart each time. This place where we experience so much of the torment and torture of being human and alive, but also which is the gateway to receive the help, the guidance, the comfort of the Holy One. So if you'd like to join me in moving. There's a familiar movement of emptying out only God, and then stepping in the glory. Soli Deo Gloria. Let's try it. Soli Deo Gloria. Soli Deo Gloria. So the second time we do a turn, and then this is where we would normally be facing around the circle like this, but let's do it to the screen, to each other. So Adoramus te. Adoramus te. And then we step in again, making this great cup to hold all of this love. We adore you, and bring it down. We adore you. Who's adoring who? Who is the lover? Who is the beloved here? So let's try from the beginning. So stepping out first of all. Soli Deo Gloria. Soli Deo Gloria. Adoramus Namaste. We adore you, really. I love the way that the Sufis draw attention to this when we say God is love, lover and beloved. You know, who's adoring who? Who is we? Who is you? if we really mean it when we say there's no separation, then every bit as much as we feel our sense of adoration for the divine, we can open to being adored by the divine. Amen. Amen. I think I would like to just open a space to send love and healing. We often do this in our Sunday mornings. So from that place of divine love, of awareness of our ability to receive it, our ability to give it, feel free to unmute and bring in some names. Pause. I'd like to bring in some words to guide our breath. Breathing in, we turn towards and open to the suffering and injustices that have taken place in our country and the world. We encourage ourselves to really feel the actuality of those fearing for their lives and the lives of their family members, and of those sorrowing and suffering. Breathing out, we send support and protection. Breathing in, we feel sorrow and remorse for the darkness of human ignorance. Breathing out, we vow to purify our ignorance with action. Breathing in, we feel the outrage and passion to stand with and protect our fellow human beings of colour. Breathing out, we offer compassionate action to stand with and protect those being mistreated. Breathing in a revivifying breath, all remnants of bias and prejudice and bigotry are cleansed with holy light and our sacred intention. Breathing out, a purifying breath to restore our essence. Breathing in, we are flooded with strength and resolve. Breathing out, we sincerely aspire to bring more harmony, more love, and more beauty to our world. Breathing in, we establish ourselves in wholesomeness and loving kindness. Breathing out, we know that a peaceful atmosphere is a powerful presence. The time is now to create a more just and compassionate world. And so just drawing attention to what Katie's written in the chat, including friends here in our group present who may not wish to ask right now, and those who are not on the call, including them all in our breath, breath of love, breath of peace. So I'd like to close with the first line of the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. We'll say, Abvun de Bashamaya, Abvun de Bashamaya. Abvun de Bashamaya. So, O thou creator, birther, father, mother of the cosmos, you who create all that moves in light, even the darkness shines when we remember. Abvun de Bashamaya, 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 Abvun de Bashamaya. So I'm going to stand and we're going to be bowing for the Abvun and raising the heart, really connecting with this vertical line that connects us to the divine, to our own divine nature. And then we make this crescent shape with our hearts, forming a container. This represents the horizontal plane, a container for the Holy One to drop into. And we're going to just go straight to stepping to the right and then next time to the left, and that way we don't have to take up too much space. Here we go, bowing. Abvun de Ba, stepping right. Bowing. Abvun de Ba, stepping left. Abvun de Ba. Even the darkness shines when we remember. Abunde Bashemaya. Amen.
Amen. I think I've lost it. So we thought we would end with one of. You can share the screen. We wish. Sorry about this little bit of technology faffing going on here. Share one of Hazrat Naik Khan's prayers, Psalm, which is I find a very beautiful prayer and traditionally said in the morning. Although when we are not actually in the morning anymore here, where it's 12:30. But so you should be able to see that now on your screen. So let's say that together.
Praise be to thee, most supreme God, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-pervading, the only being. Take us in thy parental arms, raise us from the denseness of the earth. Thy beauty do we worship, to thee do we give willing surrender.
Most merciful and compassionate God, the idealized Lord of the whole humanity, thee only do we worship.
And towards thee alone do we aspire.
Open
our hearts towards thy beauty, illuminate our souls with divine light. O Thou, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, all-powerful Creator, Sustainer, Judge and Forgiver of our shortcomings, Lord God of the East and of the West,
of the worlds above and below, and of the seen and unseen beings. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Give sustenance to our bodies, hearts and souls. Use us for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth, and guide us on the path of thine own goodness. Draw us closer to thee every moment of our lives, until in us be reflected thy grace, thy glory, thy wisdom, thy joy, and thy peace.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.